Welcome to the Other Side of Life. I'm Will, and today we're going to be talking about opposite action. What is it, and how does it work? And it's pretty simple. It's kind of a combination of using like a distraction therapy list, definitely mindfulness meditation, and a little bit of radical acceptance. All right, all the things that we've already been learning leads up to this moment, because sometimes life can throw us some curveballs, and you might want to blow up. You might want to react poorly. Using a little bit of wise mind, you can use opposite action and diffuse the situation rather quickly. An example I always like to use is it's like when you're trying to lose weight and you've been going to the gym for a few months, and then there's a day you skip a few days, and you don't want to go. Then you decide, well, I missed a few days, I'm going to go to the gym anyways, and it ends up being the best workout you've probably ever had, right? I know I'm not the only one that's happened to. Opposite action works a lot like that. Let's say you get in a fight with your boss and you throw your hands up and you're like, I'm done, I quit, I'm out of here. You go blow some steam and you feel, you think about the ramifications if you quit your job right there on the spot. You could lose all your pay, you're going to lose insurance, how are you going to pay your bills, unless you got a bunch of savings saved up. Okay, but most people can't just walk away from their job like that. So opposite action causes me to slow down, think about what I'm doing, and then make a decision that's better for me and better for those around me. This is definitely a huge emotion regulation skill, all right, opposite action, because it can diffuse situations and instead of making a bad situation worse, you can make a bad situation tolerable. And again, I'm not talking about putting up with abuse, putting up with situations and things that are dangerous to you. If you're in an abusive relationship, you're in a dangerous situation, you need to get help. Talk to people about it and get out of that situation. An example I'd like to use of a time I wish I had used opposite action but didn't was I was visiting my father in Virginia a few years ago, and we were playing cards one night, and I was drinking, and my dad's really good at cards and I really suck at gambling at cards, period. I was getting one bad hand after another. My father was just ribbing me. He started joking around about how poor I was doing in the game, and I ended up blowing up, throwing the cards down the table, storming off and drinking by myself the rest of the night, and I pretty much ruined the night for everybody, unnecessarily. But what was going on in my world, something my father was completely oblivious to, or anybody in the room at the time, was, my life was going through lots of changes. My work was going through a lot of transformations. My relationship wasn't doing so well at the time, and my business was failing, and I was pretty much just feeling like a loser, not knowing what to do with my life. So here I am just playing a card game. My dad's just whooping my tail because he's great at cards, I'm not, and he doesn't know what's going on, deep down inside of me. And that's why I talk about dealing with our core emotions. Sometimes we get angry about things, and we're technically getting angry about something we're blowing something out of proportion that we don't need to blow out of proportion. We're really upset about something else. So, how could opposite action have helped me in that situation? I could have taken a break from playing cards, took a bathroom break, maybe said some positive affirmations, you're feeling like a loser, but you're not a loser, put it in perspective, it's just a card game, go back and have fun. And I'm sure to a lot of people that sounds silly, well, you're just being a chump, you don't got to put up with people making fun of you or whatever. But in that situation, that was just a card game, and it had an explosion. But me and my father didn't talk our relationship was strained for a couple years because of a card game, because I was acting, like a fool unnecessarily. So sometimes we have to weigh, is it worth it being right sometimes in that situation? If I had used opposite action, I could have come back to the table after cooling down and asked him, how are you getting so good? Are you cheating? I could have joked with him, or I could have said, how did you get so good at cards? I could have made light of it, because my father's always been on my side. He's not against me, but I was just taking my own personal feelings and projecting them out on a bunch of other people, and that's not healthy. It doesn't help the relationships, and it's not healthy for myself, because it just causes more resentments, more shame, more blame, more of that garbage that I don't need, because that's what gets us in the cycle of depression. I'm telling you, unforgiveness, resentments, shame. Those are some of the top 3 things that cause people to want to give up on life. So some of these tools, that's what it's all about, is getting out of that blaming and shaming, you know. I apologized to my father, you know, a year later over that incident, and a few other things. And we've been thick as thieves ever since. So opposite action can save a relationship. It's just up to you to determine if the relationship is, you know, is it worth blowing up, or can I cool the situation down? Is it worth quitting the job on the spot, or can I cool down and put up with the situation? Is it really as bad as I think that it is? Again, journaling is key to doing this. You're going to, you know, write down what's going on, how I'm feeling about it, how can I handle the situation in a different way. Mindfulness exercises will help so you're not distracted with a bunch of other things. Make sure that you get some time to yourself when you are trying to do some journaling and working on things like radical acceptance or opposite action. All right? Again, not telling you to put up with abusive situations, but I am telling you that we can control how we respond to things. We just can't control the way the world around us responds and the way they act. All right? So I'm Will with The Other Side of Life, and I'll see you next time. Please subscribe, hit the notification if you're enjoying these videos, and share them, because we don't need to lose any more people. We don't need people giving up on life. All right? We can get through this. All those dark moments, you know, I've proven that you can get through it, and there's many others out there that have gotten through those dark times. So remember, you're wonderful, you're amazing, and I'll see you next time.